Race is a problem that transcends borders, but how does it manifest in different parts of the world? Europe, often seen as a symbol of progress and unity, is not immune to the deep-rooted issue of racism. In this video, we'll be uncovering the truth about racism in Europe, and exposing how it's affecting the lives of millions. Today, we will focus on 10 European countries where racism is still a pressing issue. Let's France, a country known for its revolutionary ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. But unfortunately, many minority groups, especially those of African and Arab descent, face discrimination daily. In fact, studies show that people with ethnic-sounding names are far less likely to be hired for jobs, despite having similar qualifications. The infamous banlieues, or suburban housing projects, are often home to marginalized communities, facing police brutality in social e. Italy, racism against immigrants, particularly those from African and Eastern European countries, has been on the rise. Far-right political parties have gained traction, making xenophobic rhetoric mainstream. The refugees landing on Italy's shores often face hostility, and attacks on immigrants have increased. Even Italians of non-European descent report encountering racial profiling and exclusion in everyday life. United Kingdom, often seen as a melting pot of cultures, still struggles with racism. In fact, racial discrimination is deeply ingrained in some institutions, especially in law enforcement. The tragic deaths of individuals like Stephen Lawrence, and the subsequent inquiries, highlighted the institutional racism present in UK police forces. Black people are also more likely to face unemployment and are overrepresented in the criminal justice system. Racism isn't just a problem for IMI. Germany, a country with a significant immigrant population, especially from Turkey in the Middle East, also faces its fair share of racial tensions. Despite the country's progressive reputation, racially motivated attacks are not uncommon. The rise of far-right groups, such as the AfD, has fueled anti-immigrant sentiment. In fact, in 2020, Germany witnessed a sharp increase in hate crimes against foreigners, especially people of Turkish and Arab descent. Spain, like many southern European nations, has a long history of dealing with racial issues. While Spain is often associated with its La Familia culture, racism towards migrants from Africa and Latin America is widespread. In addition, the country's Roma, Gypsy, community has faced centuries of discrimination, and in recent years, there has been a resurgence of anti-Muslim sentiment, particularly against immigrants from Morocco and Algeria. Greece is a country that has seen an influx of refugees in recent years, particularly from Syria, Afghanistan, and other war-torn regions. Unfortunately, these refugees are often met with hostility. Anti-immigrant sentiments are high, and neo-fascist groups like Golden Dawn have gained significant influence, spreading racism and hate across the country. Refugees are often subjected to violence and discrimination, both in camps and in Greek society. Hungary, the government's right-wing policies have contributed to a climate of fear and hatred against immigrants. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has repeatedly framed migration as a threat to Hungarian identity, which has fueled xenophobia. The Roma population, as well as immigrants from the Middle East and Africa, are routinely targeted by racist violence and discriminatory practices. Poland, like Hungary, has seen a rise in nationalist movements and anti-immigrant rhetoric in recent years. Poland has been resistant to accepting refugees from the Middle East, and Polish people of African and Asian descent face racial profiling, hate speech, and even violence. The country's political climate has emboldened far-right extremists, making life difficult for minorities. Sweden is known for its progressive policies and strong commitment to human rights. However, even in Sweden, racism is still a persistent problem. African, Arab, and Roma communities face discrimination in the labor market, education, and housing. The rise of far-right parties like the Sweden Democrats has also created a more hostile environment for immigrants, and hate crimes are on the rise. Denmark, considered one of the happiest countries in the world, is not without its issues when it comes to race. The Danish People's Party, which promotes anti-immigrant rhetoric, has gained significant political traction. Refugees from the Middle East, particularly Syrians, often face discrimination and are portrayed as a threat to Danish culture. Even though Denmark offers many social benefits, racial tensions persist, particularly in urban areas. So what does this all mean? Europe, despite its diversity and progressive reputation, still grapples with racism in many forms. Whether it's through violence, systemic discrimination, or xenophobic political movements, racism continues to impact millions of people. But the truth is, awareness is the first step toward change. Thank you. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue to have these important conversations so we can make the world a better place for everyone. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to combat racism in all its forms.